Okay, so I am not a type A person. Type A people probably don't need this like instruction, but you just start with your kids' names. I'm gonna put my kids' initials. Oh, I probably already didn't give enough space. All right, so that's that one, and that's that one. All right, so I have my kids' names here, and then I'm just gonna leave space for each subject. Um, each kid needs math, and I typically always had that planned. I switched every once in a while, but most of the time I stuck with Matthew C. And that was simply because that's what a lady that I knew and I liked her and I liked her kids. That's what she used. And so I thought, well, let me just try it. And if it doesn't work, then I'll change. And so whatever Matthew C, let's pretend like this is the pre-cal year for him. And so that would probably be geometry for him. And then that would probably be whatever. I'm just trying to think back on when it was. Maybe algebra. I don't know. It's hard to remember what, but you get the idea. Wherever they are, and then she was probably in Zeta. So you have your math, and then you think, okay, what about literature? Well, for me, for literature and history, I usually combined those things because I would use either a gentle feast is was one of my spines for the year. Some years I used Knotgrass, which had literature also in it. Other years I would use Konos. And so that would have live books in it, living books for my CM type thing. If I knew I was going to use the same thing for history and literature, then I would just do a line down. So some years I would group the top two and the bottom three for history or literature, or just literature, I guess. And then other years I would group the top three and the bottom two. And then as they started graduating, it was easier and easier. Then the last thing we would do is science. And so I would either use Apologia or Berean Builders. I liked those. And if I was in chemistry or if I was in physical science, I would also do the same thing. I would group two kids, minimum three kids if possible, in whichever science. And then if I had, oh, I really wanted something special for this kid, like this kid wanted football. And then this kid down here wanted ballet. And I would just write it down, and whatever I found for ballet, I would write that down. It does not have to be beautiful. Other times I would go ahead and just put in a different, like a smaller pin. So if I had a question mark, like, oh, she was interested in poetry this year. And then whatever little different tips I found for let's see, she went down here wanted to do German. So I worked on flip flop German a lot that year with my German friend. And so I would add that. Anytime you have an idea, you just write it down. The key to this is making sure you write at the top. I might even do it in a different color if you have it. Forget plans. And then that is such a weird thing to write down that you're going to remember it a little bit better. Then I'm going to stash this in my silverware drawer. And here's the key to it. Silverware drawer. So Apologia, Knotgrass, Matthew C. Oh, I know one year I did a Life of Fred. He wanted to switch because he really liked the Life of Fred books. Another year I thought about switching to teaching textbooks. And so if I wasn't sure about it, I might ask somebody, hey, can I come over and look at your teaching textbooks? People love that. Always try it and go to people's houses. They love to show you what they're doing. People are very, very free with their advice. They have an opinion about everything. And then you get to reject it. You don't have to stick with it. Okay, here's the key. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of this. When you take a picture of it, make sure you have the word forget and the word plans in there. Because later, check it out. When you try to watch that, you're going to go to your photo thing. And up here, you put the little, oh, that didn't work. Cancel. You click the little dealie and you can type in, see, I've already tried it. You can type in the word forget. Right now, it's not going to happen. it takes a little time. So it'll take 24 hours or so, maybe 10 hours. I'm not sure how long, but um, that word will pop up and look at the number of times it popped up. So there's one that I was testing it on. And so now I have the word forget, and then it reminds me where my plans are. So you're going to rip that off. And stick this piece of paper. You can fold it up if you want to, underneath your silverware drawer in your kitchen. Now you've dumped it all. You don't have to remember. Whenever you're cooking dinner and you go, oh, that's right. Get a pencil and you add to it. It's messy. It doesn't have to be beautiful. You're just jotting down things. So whenever later, whenever it's time to sit down and actually plan out your day and have your schedule or your routine, I don't recommend a schedule. I recommend like more of a routine or a rhythm. But now you already have your basis of what you want to do. One year I wanted to do art, and it was like she really wanted to do a sculpture. So I had found this place, how you spell that? Sculpture, that was called Living Waters. And this was the way I did it. I make sure I wrote down Living Waters. So whenever I was like, oh, that's right, there was those classes there. So get the idea. Don't expect to remember all the things that your kids want to do or that you plan on. Just put it in your silverware drawer and then take your picture, and you're going to remember where it is whenever it's time to look at it. Okay, I really hope that helps you. And it's a surefire way. If you don't use this exact method, this hopefully gets your creative juices going of how can I remember this without stressing myself out, because you're not going to remember. You're going to forget your plans. Write it down, do a brain dump, lay it out.